You tune in to Floridian Rollo. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the live stream. As you enter in, make sure you thumbs up the video and support the Cash App. Why you can't pay me to stay in Atlanta, Georgia? Georgia in particular, that's right. You can't pay me any type of money to stay in that Ibaraki, Georgia. You had a judge that went out in a particular Buckhead place. And this guy decided to attack a particular woman, and the judge intervened. Yes, she's a woman. She intervened to help the lady. Authorities came to the scene, apprehended the judge. The judge made a threat to the officer. And the woman that was attacked by the man, guys, I got to talk to you guys. First and foremost, why are you putting yourself in a situation that not only you're going to do time, the world see how buffoonery you acting with a woman at that spot. Now you have people saying, oh, the judge should not go to the spot, go to this place, go to that place. She was just out having a good time with her friends, just like everybody else go out and have a good time with their friend. Oh, hypocrites. Oh, over righteously people. I can't stand you over righteously people. Oh, you should not have went out to the club and have a drink. When politicians drink, everybody drinks and do other things. Stop it with the nonsense. I'm holier than thou, and my opinion matters. Oh, sluggers you are. Now get into the guy. The guy, a lot of people saying the woman started it. I don't believe the woman started it. I don't believe she started it. He, like many men, love to be messy. I just talked about this a few hours ago about some men being messy, and I talked about Offset, and I talked about Quavo. It's funny because Quavo and Offset go to that same spot that you're about to hear about. They go to that same spot. A lot of quote unquote industry folks go there. So what we're going to do is play the clip. You have these people saying it's the woman's fault. No. The dude started the attack on this particular woman. Did she say something to him? Yes. That didn't give him the right to attack her. Now, they saying she started the fight. When you look at the videotape, yeah, she was defending herself. The dude was going crazy. Without further ado, let's get to the clip. She probably saw something he did and called them out on it. Because one thing about them Georgina women, one thing about those actual Georgina women, they'll call you to the cartel. And you know, there's a lot of fishy stuff going on in Georgia. A lot of it culture in Georgia. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let's get to the tape. Yeah, we're going to start doing more videos like this. We're going to talk about some real stuff, some real issues these days in a community, which is no community. All right, let's see what this clip does. We're going to get other clips, and here we go.
End it. Don't do what? Because that's don't do what? Don't do what? Don't do what?
Now, it shows that she took off her shoes. It shows that she took off her shoes. He's instigating her. He enticing her. He's instigating her to go after him. Now, he probably had another woman there or another man he was dealing with, either or, and she called him out on it because somebody told her. And she came to the scene and made a scene. He didn't handle it because he was hiding what he was doing. And she found out. Instead of him being straight up, he wasn't a straight up guy. You could tell by the way he arguing with her. He started the argument. Let's go. Wow. Now he pushed the judge. Let's rewind this. He bombed. He pushed her away. Or the security. These security men, these guys are so slow. Let's rewind it again.
End it. Don't do what? Because that's don't do what? Don't do what? Don't do what?
Man, you got the judge getting after you. You got the judge going after you. You fighting another woman. You got the judge after you. I think the judge know who he is probably. Man, yo, the crazy part about this whole thing is it was nothing but women at that spot and a few dudes. And this dude cannot even control the environment. It's so many dudes in Georgia that play both sides. You can't pay me to live in that state. And yo, when I told people I was in Florida, right, when I was working at the site, we had some Georginas come in, Gentile Georginas coming in, and me and the Floridians, we was like, man, we can't stand these Georginas, man, with their policy. I was rolling. The Floridians was like, man, what's up with these Georginas? They can't drive, act a fool. And it was a woman Georgina and a Floridian a Floridian woman. And the Floridian woman was like, man, these Georgina women think they all that. I was laughing. I was like, yo, man, I had some interesting times at that place, man, for real, because I got to see, just like when I was working at the airport supervising for Delta, and how the Gentile European woman was like, what's up with these American women? And they was both with their husbands. And the European woman was telling me, man, these Americans don't know how to talk to their own people. And the American woman was like, they think they all that with their broken English. I was like, yo, the husbands was quiet. They telling me this. Like, what decision you make? Would you choose me or would you choose her? And both of them was young, good looking ladies, you know what I'm saying? You know, in their 20s, around the time I was in my 30s. So like I was like, damn, they trying to get me to decide. Just like they got me to decide with the Florida and Georgia. You know, I'm picking Florida over Georgia any day. I'm picking Florida over Georgia any day. Shoot. Let's see. Let's go back to the drama again. Let's get to this tape here. Let's go. Fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. Here we go. A lot of you men in Georgia, you're going to reap the consequences of this mad decision. Listen to what I tell you. All you guys in Georgia, all you YouTubers in Georgia, you're going to reap the consequences of this. It's coming to a theater near you. The ladies are not going to listen. I'm listening to this for the first time, okay? To the news. And man, the face, the look on these women's, ooh wee. A lot of you dudes in Georgia are gonna be penalized for this. If I was you guys, I would G-check that dude because he made it money problems for you coming up, all types of stuff. I'm telling you what's going down. Let's go. Because the women run the money in Georgia. The crazy part about it is why those guys there didn't tell the dude to back off. Why the security they intervene? How slow can you be of not paying attention to a toxic relationship? You got to catch on to these things, man. You got to move quickly. You can't be that slow. I don't know what they're putting in the air in Georgia. But anyway, let's continue. That's what Offset and Quavo and them go to. Let's hear what her lawyer has to say. Not no Ibarasi state. Not no Ibarasi. That's not a red state. Listen, listen. Let me tell you something. That is not a red state. If that was Florida, the cops would not have intervened. Listen, it would not even gotten to that. That's why the parties in Florida is more stricter. It's not let they not. It's no let loose in Florida. Okay, especially Tampa. You know, parts of Orlando, Jacksonville, Miami, especially now more so. Man, they don't play. They want you to go have a good time and don't bring the drama to that state. They clean up big time. So a lot of people in Daytona, a lot of people don't like that the cops is there. I'm glad the cops is there. I'm glad it's stricter. It needs to be strict. So you won't act a fool and know how to behave, know how to have a good time. Georgia, while you could carry, it's not an open carry state for one. And you, while you're supposed to defend other people, that state is a Ibarasi state. And it's gotten worse. You can't pay me to live in that state dealing with these Ibarasis. Now they say that she's stealing money. Look, everybody's talking about everybody scamming, right? There's a lot of scamming going on. And so now if she's scamming, could be possible. There's a lot of people say she's scamming money. That will determine in the future. There's definitely a high scamming going on in Georgia. It definitely does. It's definitely a lot of scamming in Georgia, especially with inflation and everything else. Okay? So, yeah, let's continue. We got another footage. Hold on. The officer is in trouble. The officer definitely the officer definitely in trouble. Hold on 1 second. Let me do something here real quick. Hold on. Okay, I'm back, y'all. Let's get to the other clip. Give me 1 second. I'm looking for another tape. Excuse me. Yeah, as I was saying, the Atlanta judge, I mean, not the Atlanta judge, the can the officer be in trouble? It's possible. All right, here we go. Let's get to it. Show you a few minutes of this from Nate, the lawyer, a content creator. Let's see what he says about this.
I'm the first African American female and Democrat. Yes. I was never celebrated or congratulated. The first, on my day of swearing in, I was sworn in by Judge Emerson. I received my first JQC complaint.
Peterson's main defense was her inexperience as a judge.
A few moments later.
Take me where you want to take me. I pray for you. I promise I pray for you because your life, you have a long life to live. I promise you. I pray for you.
Ma'am, I need your first
I pray
and last
for you,
name,
sir. Listen to me.
so I can book you in so you can go on with your day. So you can go on with your day.
Sir, the last
done with me.
person that did, the last person.
The question is, why is she not giving out her information? She don't trust him, for one, and she's traumatized by seeing a so-called black man attacking a so-called black woman, and nobody came to that woman's aid. Well, the men are not going to the woman's aid like they used to, because if they do, what happens is the guy could have had a gun, right? Got killed. And people are not getting involved in people's, situation. You have security there that's supposed to be armed. If you have a police presence, that should not have went down. She took it upon herself to help the lady. That's what she decided to do, and they penalized her for that. Now, what's the crazy part about it is why I believe the cop is in trouble is because he was going back and forth with her a little bit. It's just take her to the station. Like back in the days, cops would not ask for your information unless it's a random situation, and you just get the officer information and you let the courts deal with it, right? So for her not to give the information, she did the right thing. Just take her to the station. All this back and forth and going back and forth could get him in a lot of trouble. It could definitely get him in a lot of trouble. You got men in the chat saying one thing. Look, I'm looking at it from an observer standpoint. Cops I know will take you to the station, book you, get the information with your fingerprints, get you a lawyer, and go about your business and go from there. That's the old way. This Ibaraki, where the judge is starting to realize it don't matter if you're a judge. They don't care. Because, she's supposed to be usurping over them. Nah. Somebody in her jurisdiction having it for her. Somebody in her jurisdiction having it for her too. Anyway, you see they have to cover because she had on a particular dress. And, here's my thing, guys. Here's my thing, fellas. It's obvious this officer don't know how to talk to a woman. He's doing weird behavior stuff. It is what it is. So if she's uncomfortable, it's a reason. She sees something that a lot of people don't see. You have a lot of people saying he's an upstanding. Nah, man. A lot of people are comfortable with certain Georgina police officers, okay? So I don't know, man. This is not looking good for so-called black men. This is not looking good right now. And if she wins, not only will he be fired. If I were him, I'd leave Georgia. I tell you that. I will leave Georgia. So-called black men in Georgia, you better protest this. All you black male content creators in Georgia, you better talk about this. I'm calling you out. You better call this out, because if you don't, it's gonna look bad for you with these women in Georgia. They're gonna be ruthless. Woo-wee. They're gonna be ruthless. All right, let's get to another one. Let's get to another one real quick. Man, this is not looking good for so-called black men. Not looking good. Man, it's not looking good. Oh, man. We're going to hear what the chick in question, and then the lawyer and the judge. Fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. Oh, man, this is not looking good. All right, here we go.
Developing tonight, attorneys for a Douglas County judge arrested Thursday are now calling for her charges to be dropped.
Judge Christina Peterson is accused of assaulting a police officer outside of a Buckhead lounge, but her attorney and witnesses say there is more to the story. 11 Live's Karis Belger heard from the judge's attorney today. Karis, what do they have to say here?
Well, we were expecting to hear from Judge Peterson. She did not speak, but her attorney is asking the charges against her be dropped. We did hear from a young woman who says she was helped by the judge just before Peterson was arrested. And we also got a chance to hear from another young woman who was there standing in line when everything went down. She says she took video of the incident as it happened.
He viciously attacked me, fist force, punched me in my face. And she was the only one that helped me.
Alexandria Love described the early morning hours of June 20th when she says Judge Christina Peterson was arrested while trying to help her.
I had to sit there
and call 911.
It just feel horrible that nobody actually helped me. I've never been in that situation before in my life.
Peterson is a probate judge in Douglas County. Her attorney says she was celebrating a friend's birthday at Red Martini Lounge in Buckhead, and outside the bar is where Love was being attacked by a man. Attorney Marvin Arrington says Peterson was trying to help Love during the incident.
We call on the Atlanta Police Department to dismiss these charges against Judge Peterson. This is living proof of no good deed goes unpunished.
In arrest warrants, officers claim Peterson struck an officer with a closed fist. Judge Peterson is charged with willful obstruction of a police officer by using threats, a felony crime, and simple battery against an officer, which is a misdemeanor. Now, we have reached out to the Atlanta Police Department multiple times. We were informed that the incident report for this case is not yet ready. We were also informed the body camera footage would not be released until this case is adjudicated. Back to you.
All right, Karis, thank you for that report.
Every week, millions of Americans are filling their...
Man, I tell you. The men in Georgia, listen to me, the men in Georgia, particularly the black men too, the men in Georgia, you better watch your back. You better watch your back, because this is going throughout the airways now. Your state is Liberace, and you're gonna have these ladies getting revenge, man. Oh my goodness, man. The dude should not have talked to her. He should have took her to the precinct kept his mouth shut, stopped asking questions. Sometimes you gotta pick your battles. It's a hostile environment. The dude did attack the woman. She tried to help. She didn't know the female. So now she knows what it's like to not get involved in other people's business. My thing is, the officer in question, bro, you had her naked, man. What's going on? What's up with you? Oh man, yo, it's not gonna look good, man. It's not gonna look good for so-called black men in Georgia. All you Georgina black men content creators, I know you watching. You need to call this out. It's not gonna be a good look for y'all in the next couple of months. I know how this goes, man. That's why out of all the East Coast places, I don't care what nobody say, Florida's the best one, man, by far. Florida is the best one by far. You can't pay me to live in no other state. I'll visit. You can't pay me to stay there. Because the stricter laws, the better it is. Man, when you get, ooh, man, that bar is going to lose a lot of business right now. That bar is going to lose a lot of business because a lot of women patronize that place, and the men come there, for various reasons, and now that business is going to be in trouble. Buckhead is having too much drama, man. Ain't that what AMS stay at? AMS, you stay out there in Buckhead. Few other content creators stay out there in Buckhead. Whoo-wee, man. Yeah, tell me what you think, man. Tell me what you think about this. I'm looking forward to seeing what you got to say in the comment section because it's pretty quiet now. I wonder why. Yeah. It's not looking good for the men in Georgia. It's not looking good for the men in Georgia. And it's not looking good for the men in Georgia, man. Let me see if we got any other tapes. Man, this is crazy. This is not looking good. This is not looking good for the officer, man. Okay, we're going to get to this right now. I found another one. Whew. Man, I'm telling you, man. This is crazy. All right, let's see what they say. Fox 5.
We're also following breaking news in Atlanta tonight. APD has just released body cam video of the incident that led to the arrest of Douglas County probate judge Christina Peterson.
On its Facebook page, police say in the moment, Peterson forcibly pushed an officer in the chest as he tried to assist security by escorting a woman out of the Red Martini restaurant and lounge Thursday morning. But the original arrest warrant says Peterson struck the officer with a, quote, closed fist.
Oh, so they was arresting the chick. I see what's going on. Okay. They was trying. We did see that. They was holding the chick. They didn't even hold the guy. Why the guy was not hold? Okay, both of them going at it. Why was he not held by security? Oh, man, they causing mayhem. Oh, you got to arrest both of them. Oh, so she intervened the arrest. Okay, I see what's going on. Oh, man, we got to rewind this back. She said, let her go. Ooh, oh, yeah, they was pissed off about that. Let's go.
He tried to assist security by escorting a woman out of the Red Martini restaurant and lounge Thursday morning. But the original arrest warrant says Peterson struck the officer with a, quote, closed fist.
Yo, they push her to the floor. They push her to the floor. They push the woman who was a judge to the floor. Everybody just standing there with their videos out. Let's continue.
APD says that officer was working an approved extra job at the time. Later in the video.
And her wig came off. Her wig came off. Oh, man. Oh, man, her wig came off. So that now that's more complications.
Peterson appears to refuse to provide her name to the officer on several occasions. Peterson is charged with felony obstruction and simple battery of a police officer.
But earlier today, Peterson's lawyer told Fox 5 she was trying to help the woman you saw in the body cam video. He says Alexandria Love had been attacked. And this is video one of the witnesses recorded of Peterson on the ground being detained by officers.
Love says a man attacked her in the line for a food truck. Judge Peterson was in tears today as a witness spoke in her defense.
I see this person just flying by me, and I didn't know who she was, but I just know she helped my friend, and if she hadn't helped, I don't know what we would be saying today.
Peterson's attorney is asking police to find and arrest the man who they say attacked Alexandria Love. They're also urging Fulton County DA Fonnie Willis to personally review the case and dismiss all charges.
They did not arrest the guy. The guy did not get arrested. The guy did not get arrested. That's a big problem. We saw the guy going after her, and they arrested the woman and then arrested the judge. So this attack happened at the vendor. We got to hear what the vendor have to say. The vendor will have to come out and speak on this case. Whew, man. It's too hot for this nonsense, man. That's why most so-called blacks don't go to anything that's filled with their own, because there's always drama. It's always drama when there's too many of us and someone looking better than another person. Yo, I gotta keep it real with y'all, man. When you try to get blacks unite, oh man, he got better clothes on than me. Oh, he got more money than me. Oh, he's getting more of the women. Corey, you out there in ATL, man. Yo, you can't pay me to live there. I'm sorry, man. I don't know how you deal with it. You left Ibarasi, New York to go to Ibarasi, Georgia. You got to come on this panel, man. We got to get you to come on, man. Come on and hit the link, bro. Just for a few minutes. You ain't got to show yourself. Just come on and hit the link for one time, man. For one time's sake. You got to come on, bro. Come on and hit the StreamYard link. You could come on for a few minutes. Man. I don't care if they tell me, oh, we'll make you a millionaire. I say, heck no, man. Heck no. Like I was saying, you get around so many so-called black people, man, get together, somebody looking better than the next person, or you got the baddest woman in the room, or the jealousy comes in. She want to fight. They want to fight your girl, or if the dude is trying to talk to a chick and she's taken, dudes get reckless. I'm telling y'all, man, can't even behave around each other. Always messy. Always. Always messy. Now you know the judge can't stand so-called black men after that. She gonna get herself another man. After what she experienced, man, this is not looking good, man. This is not looking good. Not looking good. I need somebody from Georgia to explain to me about Georgia, man. I need you to come in and hit that link, man. You in Georgia? What is going on in your state? What's going on in your Ibarasi state? You cannot pay me to live in that ish. I'm saying it clearly right here, right now. Don't get in your fifi. If you ask me, Rollo, I say Florida is the only place, man. That's the real deal on the East Coast. The real deal. That's I'm just keeping it above. Florida is the real deal on the East Coast because anything like this, situations like this, dudes ain't having it. Dudes is not having it in Florida. Like that dude from Chicago, they gave him the business, trying to mess up what's going on in Tampa. Don't come down to Florida with your foolishness, man. Leave your northern ways, leave your Ibarasi. Don't come to Florida with that, man. Tell you right now. It's too many northerners going to the south and messing it up, man, with their northern ideology. You had a lot of northerners moving from D.C., moving from the DMV, moving from New York, moving from Pennsylvania, and just destroy Georgia. To the point, you can't even pay me to stay in Georgia. That's the same thing with North Carolina. Mess it up, man. You don't think I talked to real people in the North Carolina and Georgia who was pissed off with northerners coming down there with their nonsense? Messing up everything? Let me show you something. Let me show you how real it is. Let me show you how real it is. Let me see something. Let me show you something real quick. Let me see if Corby came. No, he said hit the link yet. All right. Let's see. I want to see what these Ibaracis that left California and moved to Texas, what they have to say. Oh, man.
And to some, it is no longer their home.
I did think that I was going to stay here forever. Every single one of these houses was completely burnt.
My California dream it's done.
In the span of 2 years, California's population has dropped by more than 500,000 people.
Oracle's stunning announcement that after decades in Silicon Valley, it's moving its headquarters to Austin, Texas.
And new this morning, Tesla says it's officially moved its corporate headquarters to just outside of Austin.
There's a good chance you may know someone who left the state over the past 2 years.
A Golden State exodus and a Lone Star State explosion. But is it true? Join us as we meet some Californians making the move to see if the grass in Texas is really greener.
I was assaulted twice on the park.
Never had a house this large in my life.
It is definitely a lower cost of living in Texas.
The home that I once remembered and knew back in the 1980s and the 1990s, a lot of that's gone now.
Are you in my Facebook group moved to Texas from California?
I'm Karina Nova. California Dreaming is all about looking at the challenges facing the Golden State and the people trying to come up with potential solutions. We all know our state faces some major challenges, and those may not be solved overnight. For most Californians, the positive aspects of our state far outweigh the challenges we face. But for a small group of Californians, the problems are enough to push them to leave the state they love. Making things better often takes some critical self-reflection. So today, we're going to do that with these former Californians in an effort to learn how we might be able to make things better for the rest of us. Whether it's people moving or companies moving, it feels like there are more people trading the Golden State for the Lone Star State. But is that really true? The short answer is yes. The number of Californians moving to Texas has gone up in the past few years, but actually, it's been steadily increasing since 2009. And in 2018, that number jumped. If you added up all the people who moved to and from Texas within the United States, 34% came from California. Now, people from Texas have also been moving to California, but that number has stayed about the same over the past 10 years. So when we compare the estimated net flow of people between the states from 2017 to 2019, Texas has a 2-to-1 advantage. For the last 3 years, we had to turn to other sources that helps us fill in the blanks. Move Buddha is a relocation website. It calculates costs for people planning to make a move from state to state and gives insight into moving trends before they happen. Their most popular searches over the last few years were from cities in California to Texas. And that's not all. Looking at Texas driver's license applications where people listed California as their last residence, the numbers have been steadily increasing for the last 10 years.
Woo-wee! Good morning.
To Texas. And that's not all. Looking at Texas driver's license applications where people listed California as their last residence, the numbers.
Oh my goodness, that's a lot of people. Oh man, that's a lot of people. Wow.
have been steadily increasing for the last 10 years. Okay, so I think it's safe to say that Californians are moving to Texas. But let's put the numbers in context. Of the almost 40 million people living in California, the total number of people leaving the state each year makes up less than 1%. But it's true, the majority of those people are indeed heading to Texas. Let's meet some of them.
I think Texas is attractive for the same reasons that Arizona and Nevada are attractive, which is that home prices are lower and there's plenty of job opportunities. When I was the mayor of Ventura, the thing that I treasured the most was that most of the people who lived in town also worked in town. It was a complete community. And one of the things I tried to do as mayor was to protect that and ensure that that could continue. That requires building more housing so that young families can afford to live there. And that really hasn't happened. So one of the things I greatly fear about Ventura and elsewhere in coastal California is that it's not a place for everybody anymore, and especially not a place for young families. It's a place basically where older, affluent people now live. And I think something has really been lost there. Those are the people who are moving to places like Texas.
Generally speaking, home prices in Texas cost less than half of homes in California. U.S. Census Bureau numbers show that the middle and lower classes are leaving California at a higher rate than the wealthy. Many who have left in recent years say they simply couldn't afford to stay.
My name is Jennifer Balick, and I am from Ventura County. I am the mom to 6 kids. We are a blended family, a big Balick bunch. And we moved to Texas in April of 2021 to try to live the American dream. We were not doing that in California. Being a big family, we really needed the space to house everybody comfortably without, being super squished.
And that's what's going on right now. Listen, a lot of these places, right? Georgina, certain other states, California, a lot of these Ibaraki states, people are living on top of each other like sardines. And then most of the homes are too close to each other. Everybody is 100 feet from each other. So that's a huge problem in itself, So yeah, you can't pay me to live in no Georgia, man. I'm sorry. Can't pay me to live in no other state besides Florida and just have business in New York for the most part. I'm just saying, man, I'm so glad that I picked Florida. I'm really glad I did, because if it were any other state, it was like I never left New York. You know what I'm saying? And so I really wanted to hear Corey, what made him decide to go to Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Because I really want to know, man. I really want to know. Sometimes I want to know why my supporters moved to these Ibaraki states. What made them go there? You left one Ibaraki state and moved to another Ibaraki state. Can't even have a good time in Georgia, man. Especially Buckhead. You can't even have a good time. Dudes arguing with women. Women arguing with dudes. Oh, man, this is crazy, man. Yeah. That's basically it, y'all. I ain't gonna be on too long. Let me get somebody to say something, though. Yeah, the clubs and listen, I'm just quiet for a reason. I'm looking for the thing. The clubs is done, man. It's done. Let's see what this lady said. Let's see what this lady say. She moved to Atlanta. Well, she got a monarch butterfly. She got a butterfly. Anyway, she got a butterfly tattoo. Let's see what she says, though. Let's get to it.
People come to Atlanta for a weekend and they have the time of their life. It's lit. They going nuts. Bottles popping, chains out, weed down to the. I mean, it's going crazy. And you see all these black people in this one setting, and you going from another setting to another setting, and you're just seeing us, and you're seeing party time basically. You're like, oh, I need to pack my bags, and I need to go ahead. I need to move down there. Like, it's lit. Moving somewhere because you had 1 or 2 or even 3 lit weekends is crazy. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Aisha. What's poppin'? My channel is composed of many different things. I talk about travel. I talk a little bit about lifestyle. I talk about relationships, but most of all, I talk about the city of Atlanta. I have an entire Atlanta series from beginning to end about various different topics on this city. The reason why I feel like I can talk about this city is because I am from here. Born and raised in Georgia. I have lived in Atlanta, more importantly, for the last probably 10 years. And then even before that, I only stayed about 35 minutes outside of the city. So when it comes to the outskirts, the inskirts, Metro Atlanta, I know it all. So I'm here to talk about what is going on with this city. If you click the video, I already know why you're here. So continue watching without.
I want to see what you got to say.
Into my intro,
Asia.
it's a little lit or whatever.
Come on, Asia.
Atlanta razzle dazzle on it. So let's head into that.
No sprinkle.
Rome wasn't built in a
Not
day.
sprinkle
And to
talk.
whom much is given, much is required. Last year, we planted the seed. Together, we will watch it grow.
Not sprinkle talk. Give us the information.
Why people hate Atlanta, but more importantly, let's talk about why people who move to Atlanta say they hate Atlanta. This has been a topic that has just been going crazy lately on YouTube. So many people have their opinions. So many people have moved here. So many people have left here. It's so many different variations. And what made me want to do this video in particular is because I just want to set the record straight. Like, why I think people who move here, even people who live here, hate Atlanta, honestly, what I have witnessed happen over the last couple of years is Atlanta is still and will always be the Mecca, right? Let's start with the positive. Atlanta will always be a place where Black being Black thrives. Essentially, you don't feel like you're at the bottom of the totem pole. You don't feel like you're ostracized. You have peers. You have like-minded people that want to do the exact same thing that you want to do. And you guys are all coming from far and wide and coming to this city. Now, I've heard so many people say, oh, you know, everybody here is a transplant. They're not from here anymore. The people who live here are not from here. And that's not true. Literally what I realized even this weekend is Juneteenth weekend, celebrating Juneteenth. And what I realized is all of the things that are popular to do here, people who live here like myself don't necessarily go to those events. And it's not because, you know, we don't want to be there. It's just when you live somewhere, living somewhere is so different. Living somewhere and being from somewhere. Let me say both of those at the same time. It's extremely different from moving somewhere and then it's like, boom. Like people come to Atlanta for a weekend and they have the time of their life. It's lit. They going nuts. Bottles popping, chains out, weave down to the, I mean, it's going crazy. And you see all these Black people in this one setting and you going from another setting to another setting and you're just seeing us and you're seeing party time, basically. You're like, oh, I need to pack my bags and I need to go ahead. I need to move down there. Like, it's lit. Moving somewhere because you had 1 or 2 or even 3 lit weekends is crazy. It's crazy. And I'm saying that because moving somewhere because it's lit, you're gonna get here, you're gonna realize very quickly, which is what I think is what's happening. It depends. It's not like that every time. Like even for me living here, sometimes I go out and I be having a blast, and other times I'll be like, "Oh, I'm about to be in the house for the summer." You know what I'm saying? Like you never should move anywhere depending on okay, I had a lit weekend, I had a great time, I made some money that one weekend.
Yeah,
that's not a reason to move somewhere. All the times that I thought about moving somewhere, doing my research, deep diving, outside of visiting a city 1, 2, or 3, or even 4 times, you want to ask questions. You want to talk to people who actually live there and say, hey, what is your true experience of living here? Like, how do you feel moving here? Like, if you guys go back and watch some of my other videos, I'll tell you, again, living here in this city, you have to have tough skin. You have to be willing to conform, and I'm going to talk about some ways you'll be conforming in, and you have to be able to hustle and have that drive. If you don't have those things moving here, I'm going to be honest, you probably are going to hate it here. If you don't like to go out and mingle and meet new people, you're probably going to hate it here. If you're not here and you're business minded, meaning I'm going to start my business, I'm going to get a new job, I'm trying to pursue higher limbs in my career, you probably not gonna like it here. If you come here and you feeling like, oh, you know, I'm not trying to spend $200 on parking, or I'm not trying to pay to get in the club, this is not the place for you. Like, I'm gonna be honest, Atlanta is very much Hollywood right now. It's very much you gotta spend to play. That means
everyone deserves the fastest, most reliable internet speeds, regardless of
and it's $200 on occasion just to go out. It's like that here. Like, you're gonna spend. And if you're coming here from any other state or any other country and it's not like that, you're not gonna like it here. You're gonna be annoyed. Every time you gotta walk out the house to go hang out with your girlfriends, your guy friends, you're gonna be like, why did I move to this city? Like, it's expensive. And yes, Atlanta has become extremely expensive. You got to pay to park, not even in the city. You paying to park on Bruford Highway now. Like, in which, again, is not necessarily, it's a part of Atlanta, but it's the outskirts. It's considered the outskirts, but you're paying to park. You paying $20, $30, $40 to park here. That's what's going on.
Especially in Florida. See, in Florida, you're going to have to pay too, in most places in Florida. Most places in Florida, you're going to have to pay for parking, okay? If you're going out to like Orlando, you want to go out, have a good time, you're spending about $30. Then to get in, you're going to spend some money. Get drinks, you're going to spend some money. Food, money. You're going to spend a lot of money. Even to go to events, it costs money. Go out to eat. You have to go online. You have to get everything set up before you get there. You can't do last minute things. So you're going to be frustrated. She's right about that. You're going to be frustrated. The only difference is in Florida, you're going to have more of a good time and deal with less drama for the most part. Unless you're an out-of-towner, you don't know how politics move in Florida. Outside of that, man, she ain't lying about that.
You go out and you walk in the club and you walk back out the club, you may be paying to get back in. That's what's going on here. You going to eat, the food can be bussin' or it can be mid. But guess what? You still spending $150 and you only had one drink, a little appetizer, and an entree. That's what's going on here. So in my opinion, back to the title of the video, why I think some people are saying they hate it here, I think that's what's going on, and I'm here to set the record straight. If I don't do anything, I'm going to let y'all know, listen, being someone who just moved to Atlanta and you have not even lived here, I would say anywhere from more than 3 to 5 years. If you have not lived here in Atlanta more than 3 to 5 years, you don't know anything about old Atlanta. You don't know anything about the changes. Like, in my opinion, if you wasn't outside, turned on Peter Street at Spin and having a ball, if you was not out hanging out at what's the club that everybody used to go to back in the day? Like, if you wasn't hanging out and going to Obsessions and pulling up, having your best fit on, I mean, if you wasn't going to Birthday Bash back when Gucci and all them was like the ones, I mean, it's just so many ways of where I can say, like, baby, like, you don't know. Oh, you really don't know. You don't know. And it's okay. If you moved here during 2020 or after 2020 when the pandemic.
The ladies got the plug, guys. Listen, the ladies got the plug. The problem is a lot of you don't believe they have the plug. The ladies got the plug. The guys ain't got the plug like that for the most part. You got to go to the ladies to get the plug. And they're going to put you on to something interesting. Now, some of it could be crazy. Some of it may not be crazy. Okay? Let's go.
The PPP hit again. You're not getting a real depiction of this city, in my opinion. Like, everybody knows. I mean, it's no reason for us to sit here and pretend like we don't know. The PPP, the real pandemic, which is the PPP loan pandemic, that said, Atlanta was on steroids that year. I'm not gonna lie, that little 2020 to that 2021 up in that range. Hell, I would have moved here too. We were the only city that was open. I mean, honestly, y'all, COVID hit March 2020. I remember being inside for maybe 2-3 months. And then after that, everybody was outside. The club was going crazy. Like, it was just a whole different vibe. So I'm saying all that to say, like, if you moved here during that time, and then now this is essentially this is 2023 now. This is post-pandemic, post-PP, post-stimulus checks. No, Atlanta's not the same right now because during that time, so many people's businesses were being patronized. People had money to spend because they had been in the house, especially if you coming from one of these other states and y'all had to be in the house. If I'm on Instagram and I'm scrolling and I'm like,
nah, she's not lying about that. She ain't lying about that. She ain't lying. That's why I'm listening to her. She's telling the truth. Go ahead, girl.
oh, Atlanta is open. Let's go down there. That's why.
What's your credit card debt balance? If it's $10,000 or more, here are 3 easy solutions you can start implementing today. And number 3 is an app.
The city was going so crazy because we had people all over coming, spending money. The girls was making money. The guys was making money. Everybody was making money. The city was on steroids. So now what you're seeing now in 2023, you're seeing a major decline from that. Again, if you moved here during that time, or if you were sitting at home thinking about, oh yes, I'm gonna move to Atlanta in 2022, the decline started happening in 2022. Things are different now. We're in a depression, guys. I don't know. If y'all know this, recession, depression, same thing. We're in that right now. So you're not going to see, like, again, I just went out the other night here. It was lit. I had a great time. But for somebody moving from somewhere else, maybe that's not a good time. Like, we went to Pete Pony. We didn't spend a lot of money. We just sat in there kind of drunk, had a little good time, and that was it. But again, if you're used to coming down here and it's going crazy and it's like we going like this in the club, like I don't know. Like, again, it just depends on the night. It depends on what's going on. It all depends. But what I hate to see, and I'm not even gonna say hate to see because I really don't care, but because this is a part of my channel, I'm gonna talk about it. Like, I just be feeling weird when I see people who are not from here. Let's just be honest. People who are not from here and have not lived here at least more than 5 years. Again, where you were pre, mid, during, post-pandemic. No, I don't want to see nobody talking about, oh, Atlanta's not the same anymore. How do you know? No, seriously, like, how do you know? Like, I would love for somebody in my comments to tell me, like, how do you know? Because unless you lived here during that time, then you wouldn't be able to say that. You wouldn't be able to really say that. And like I said, visiting somewhere, seeing posts on Instagram, posts on YouTube, whatever may have you, and seeing like someone's highlight reel, which we talk about that a lot on this channel. Seeing highlights of something is not, a reason enough for me to say, hey, I need to move there. You really got to spend time. I'm just saying, if you're moving here, to be on the scene. Now, I talk about this a lot on my channel as well. If you're moving to Atlanta and you want to start a business, or you want to see what it's like to have, again, working in a corporate setting, seeing people like you, like-minded people, then that's different. This message is not for you. This is for people who move in here and kind of want to be lit. You want to be with the in crowd. You want to network. Maybe you do YouTube. Maybe you are some type of influencer for Instagram, TikTok. I mean, it's so many different ways to, be an influencer these days. If you're moving here, again, you have to understand, to me, this is the best place to be as far as, again, we're here, we're thriving. We get invited to the latest and the nicest things. You don't have to be what am I trying to say? Like, the in crowd is not so tight. Like, for instance, I have friends who live in LA. I've been to LA at least 8 different times. I've thought about moving to LA, but when I think about, again, my Blackness and what I care about, I don't know, again, if LA has what I would want as far as, a lot of my friends tell me, yeah, you see celebrities and this and that, but it's not that many of us in the us that it is, again, are places like Compton and over in that side of LA, which is fine, but it's like you're thinking about moving to a certain part, you want to feel welcome. And that's big for me. When I think about where I want to live, and if I ever leave Georgia, I absolutely have to live somewhere where I feel comfortable in my Blackness. That's very and extremely important to me, which is why I understand why so many people want to move to Atlanta. I understand why it is the Black Mecca. I understand why people start businesses here, people start families here. This is the place to be, but to come here and maybe go out 1, 2, or even 3 times and not have a good time, to me, is not enough to sit back and say, oh, Atlanta not the same. I'm just here to set the record straight. Like, that's all this video was intended to be. And also, too, I want to say, like, living here, you can pick a side. You don't have to decide, hey, I want to be somebody who wants to be out all the time and be around. You can choose to be a homebody. Like, that's the great thing about the South and living in the southern states. Like, you can choose to be on the outskirts. You don't have to be in the mix. You don't have to be in the city with everything going up. Like, everybody says they hate Atlanta for different reasons, right? Your reason could be, when you go out, nobody's dancing. Your reason can be like, oh, when I go outside, I feel like it's too quiet. I'm used to, sirens going off, loud music, whatever may have you, depending on where you're from. Another reason why you could hate Atlanta is, you just feel like, you can't make friends here. You're having a hard time connecting with other women, other men. What do I do? Another reason someone could say they hate Atlanta is, you can't find a man. You moved down here because you seen Lil Baby in them and you was like, oh, I'll get down there, I'm gonna find me a rapper too, or I'm gonna get put on one of these basketball players, and then you move down here.
Need a little help with your
Oh, here we go.
You should try.
Here we go. Is she gonna say it?
Here like that, like they be here, but they don't be here all the time because they're working, they're doing other things. So you're moving places and you're not really realizing like, oh, it may not be like that all the time. And I think that's okay, right? Like nothing is ever gonna be a fun time every time. But again, to move somewhere and kind of be like, it's just like you're settling in now. You live here now. You're not somebody who's visiting. Every time I visit Miami, I'm gonna just throw Miami out there for example.
Here we go.
Every time I visit Miami, I have a grand time. I can't think of one time I visited Miami or Vegas or even LA and had a bad time. So that's like.
Now she said Miami, Vegas, and LA. She said it in order. All right, let's see what happens.
Me blindly moving there, not doing any job research, not doing like a good extensive sit back. Let me see how it is when it's not turn up time. That's like me moving to those places and not knowing, and then now I'm looking crazy because I'm like, oh.
I'm glad you're smart enough to know that because in Miami, they strict. And you got a certain body type. Now, let me teach y'all something. Miami is so strict. Let's say she's a bartender or she wants to work in the office. She might get the office job to work in the bartender or to go to certain clubs she can't get in. She went to the one in North Miami. Listen, I got people down there in Miami tell me what's going on. You got to be in shape. Even for a woman, they don't allow BBLs. You can't have certain style hairs. None of that. You got to look right. Miami's strict, y'all. Miami is strict. You hear me? When it comes to making money. So if you ain't got a certain look, you can't get in. It's hard to get into Florida money. It's hard, y'all. And they have it that way for a reason. Okay? The more you take care of yourself, the better you get in. Well, Rollo, how you get in? You're not in the best of shape. Well, I was getting in the best of shape for one. And for two, don't let the belly fool you because I have to do youthful things. And I have to look. It is what it is. Now, she's not a bad-looking chick. It's just that she's too curvy. And Miami is strict. You know what I'm saying? They strict, man. Even going in Tampa is strict. They strict, bro. But if you go to Philadelphia, Atlanta, you go to New York, you go to LA and Vegas, you could be oversized. Let me tell you a true story. When I went to Vegas, I was 330 pounds, right? Every woman that was coming to me was on point in Vegas. Now Vegas got overweight women. You go to Vegas back in 2008, there was not like no women in the club that was overweight. You go, listen, Florida is the only strictest place. Florida, especially Miami and Tampa. Miami and Tampa, they strict on overweight girls going into the club. Because the men with money, the men with serious money don't want a overweight chick or a curvy woman. They want the woman slim and petite. Okay? Dudes with no money will get with any woman. That's a fact. That is a fact. Dudes with barely any money will get with any chick. Oh, that's why I always say, watch the money. That's how you know who people are. Let's continue.
It only be like that when you move there. I don't know if y'all know this, but literally, it's like with anything in your life. It be a good time. It be going crazy. But as soon as you put money into it, or as soon as you move there, as soon as you do anything permanent with it, then you like, dang, I shouldn't have did this. It's crazy, right? But that's how I feel about this city. Like, I mean, it's just so much I can go on and on about when it comes to this. But let's talk about some changes that have happened in Atlanta. So a lot of the clubs that I patronize a lot, and let's call them out a little bit. Platinum, which is a strip club here in Atlanta. My all-time favorite, that Gold Room. I just love me some Gold Room. I'm sick. That Gold Room has not been open for months now. I love me some Gold Room. Hyde is missing in action. Copper Cove, the infamous Copper Cove. Everybody knows about Copper Cove. That's when you went if you was trying to find your little little man or whatever. Copper Cove was the place to be. Copper Cove has been out of commission for some months. Now, what I'm about to say does not apply to all the places that I just listed, but it applies to a few. Right now, what's going on in Atlanta is if you don't have the proper licensing, meaning like if you're serving liquor or if you have certain things in your club that you don't have licenses for, you don't have the proper credentials, they're snatching them things like Thanos.
Hey Meta, take a photo.
Inevitable.
Like them infinity rings, they snatching them back like infinity rings. Like, no, they don't want people. In my opinion, I feel like it's a way to knock us down a little bit. If I have to be honest, like I've said before, this is the place to be if you're black and you want to start a business. But however, I feel like I don't want to, you know who they are. They're seeing, okay, people moving here, they buying up the blocks. It's a black business all up and through. It's all throughout Atlanta, even in the outskirts. Like, we are thriving here, guys. It's crazy. Saying that to say, how else can you kind of bring somebody down off their pedestal a little bit if you're serving liquor? And another reason how they're shutting these clubs down, if you have more than one altercation. So like altercations could be the police being called, someone being shot, something happening at your club. It's an automatic grounds for like, yeah, this is not your club no more. We're taking this back.
And that's true. That's true. The problem is you running businesses and it's a lot of confrontation. That's why I mentioned the judge earlier. That's a bad look for Atlanta. The judge, the woman, the man fighting the woman, they're gonna close that place down, man. Because it's hard to have black folks get with each other, man, without confrontation, arguments, yelling, screaming. You can't have a good time in these places. So she's right. They're going to be stricter on y'all, especially if you get stuff done together. And then you have a few incidents, they shut your business down. That's true.
The city is taking back these places. And if I had to say anything that, makes me sad or hurts my feelings about what's going on in my city right now is they are definitely cracking down on, like, you will not be running the business here if you have any kind of offense, again, in which a policeman has to be called or anything. Like, they're trying to get your ass up out of there. Like, that's just what's going on. So if I had to talk about, something that I've seen, that I've noticed, and it's impacting, it's hurting a lot of our clubs, a lot of our restaurants. It's hurting a lot of us because, unfortunately, it's usually us who have these type of altercations at the club. It's usually us who have these things happen. So it's a way for them to target us, and make it seem like, oh, we're not targeting black people. We're not targeting black businesses. But unfortunately, these things mostly happen at black businesses. So
it's happening at black businesses, And now they are making it harder for you to get a business in Atlanta. What y'all need to do is call out the people that's making it harder for you. Y'all not doing that. You're not getting together and putting harder restrictions on the people that's messing up your business. You're not doing that. The nations are tired of you. The nations are tired of you. You're supposed to be Israelites. You're supposed to be God's chosen people. And look what happens when you get some money and you get some business. You don't kick out Black Esau. You allow Black Esau in your business. Black Esau man, Black Esau woman is tearing up your businesses in Atlanta. We have to call out Black Esau. Let's go.
Like I said, I don't want to make this video too long, but if I can leave you guys with a message or anything to make you guys kind of like be like, okay, I understand that. And if you're somebody watching this and you're thinking about moving here, take what I said into consideration. Go back and watch my Atlanta Slick series. I talk about where you should live. I talk about, you know, the type of person, whatever type of person you are, what side of town you should live on, things of that sort. Like, I really go in detail about this city and things like that. But I just want to leave you guys with this. To me, I still love it here. I'm born and raised here. I love Atlanta. I love Georgia, and I don't think I'll be leaving anytime soon. If you're looking to move here and that's something that you want to do, just again, do your research. Don't base you moving here off of a couple lit weekends. I'm gonna be honest. You're not gonna be. It's just, that's not a reason, in my opinion. And you want to get mad for me saying this, moving somewhere because it's lit is not a reason to move there. Especially when you get here and you say stuff like, oh, I hate it here, or it's not what I thought it was gonna be. It's because you just came based off of that reason. If you sit back and do research on jobs and your target audience, if you have a business, like, do that type of research first and then come back and say, oh, and then I do be lit when I be out there. I think you'll have a better turnout on, you know, your next moving endeavor. Anyway, I just wanted to come and talk about that. Why do people hate Atlanta? I don't know, but I love it here. If you're thinking about moving here, I think you should. I think it's the place to be. If you guys want me to expand on any of the things that I talked about today in this video, I got you. Just let me know. And yeah, we'll just go from there. But I love y'all, and welcome to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next vlog. Bye.
All right. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to put the link in the chat again. All right, let me get on out of here, y'all. Got to take a road trip. The people are here. You know what I'm saying? Because of the place I'm staying at, they downstairs waiting for me. I'm going to go enjoy myself. That's what I'm going to do. That's pretty much it. Y'all stay safe out there. Peace.